Guys, what is the most awkward thing a girl has ever said to you? Once, after a lonely and drunk night at the bar in which I went home alone, I made an OKCupid account. I made my profile picture one of my cuddling with a baby elephant. Then passed the frick out. I awoke to a raging hangover and a message in my inbox from a very large woman who had written out a list of things she wanted to do to me. Including, but not limited to, double quote, sticking that elephant nose up my ass like a muppet and blowing air out my mouth like a foghorn. I deleted the account. I don't need smart, handsome or funny man. I just need you. That's okay. I like the date down too. She told me that she didn't like cats and that I had to choose between her spending the night or keeping my cat. As attractive as she was, the cat stayed. She left. You're pretty alright for a black guy. It never gets old. I had a girl in high school tell me that no one would date me because I am too much like a puppy. And no one wants to frick a puppy. Which would be hurtful and not that weird, except that she then followed it up with, but I frick pieces. Have you thought about getting a nose job? Asterisk. Have you thought about walking home? I was trying to think of what a nose job could be. But I remembered there's plastic surgery. The internet has ruined me. I dated a woman for about a month. One day we are sitting on my couch making out. She says, double quote, I am not attracted to you. I'm sorry. I ended up losing 125 pounds after that. But it still hurt like hell. I was sitting alone at a bar around 10 PM on a Wednesday night. About one drink in, a drunk soccer mom sat down next to me and blurted out, double quote, I'm old enough to be your mom. Are you single? She must have been mid-40s. I was 24. So would you stir but thinking about me? I was 16 and this was the first time I'd met her. Didn't want to be rude. So I said, don't know. But I wouldn't. Editorial. Well, my inbox blew up and I'm not sure how to react to such negative reaction of one of my other replies in this comment chain. But Merry Christmas everyone. I still don't understand it. She was drunk. I was drunk. We just met. We flirted. We were on a friend's front porch, waiting for that friend to come back with food. We kept flirting, but neither one of us made a move. We were also getting hungrier and wondering what kind of food our friend would bring back. We hoped for pizza and salad from this trendy pizza place nearby. Somehow, the two desires, hunger and flirting, got crisscrossed in her head. She turned towards me, leaned close, gazed into my eyes, and in a seductive voice said, double quote, if I was salad, how hard would you pay me? Stop staring at me. Every girl I try to hook up with. I got a little drunk at the bar while talking with a woman I had just met. One thing led to another and we were back at my place bumping uglies. Everything was going fine until she said, I don't believe in soulmates, but I do believe there is one DCK made for one PSSY and yours is made for mine. Followed by, please be real. Is this happening? Please be happening. I hope this is real. Needless to say, that freaked me out. Edit. I failed to mention while walking to my apartment she said, you don't know I'm not a murderer. And proceeded to fake push me in front of a Jeep. My DCK brain was working much harder than my logic brain after that. While on a Tinder date, the girl asked me what her name was. My mind completely blanked. I managed to play it off as a joke for a few minutes and then check Tinder and remind myself of her name. I've never felt so uncomfortable in my life. Edit. Typo. Nothing. When I asked my wife to marry me, she froze for a few minutes. Eventually cried and said yes, but that silence lasted years in my head. I was in college at a party. I started a conversation with this girl and after 5 minutes she said, you're a guy I would marry. Not date in college. Thanks I guess. Just yesterday, a girl leaned in to kiss me, and as she leaned in for it, she said, "So how is Nan?" I just started laughing right in her face. I couldn't help it. Thankfully she laughed at it too. A couple of hours later, I leaned it to kiss her and in the huskiest voice I could manage said, "Nan is really great." Can I touch it? No shitty, that's why it's out. I would prefer you did, yes. My friend, which I had a huge crush which he didn't know about, randomly said, "You're a nice guy, but you're not tall enough." My confidence dropped. No idea why rejecting someone because of their height is considered okay while rejecting someone because their fat is shallow. Especially because you can't change your height, but you can change your weight. I was 19, she was 35. After sex she asks me if I would do it again but not use a condom. She said I didn't have to be in their life if I didn't want to. She just wanted a baby. Your fly's down. You need help fixing that? On the bus. Well, she didn't say anything. Exactly. The most awkward moment I ever experienced with a girl, though, was at church. I was around 12, maybe 13. The preacher's daughter was in my Sunday school class and was insanely hot. She also went to my school, and to say I had a crush on this girl is an understatement. I was borderline obsessed. And yet, I'd never spoken a word to her. Now, for whatever reason, was wearing a relatively short skirt that day with pantyhose. I staring off into space, and at one point I was looking down at the ground between her feet. I thought to myself, she probably would think I was trying to look up her dress if she noticed the placement of my head. Just in that moment I moved my gaze up to see her staring at me, directly at me. Disgusted, she scowled and then pushed her knees together so that her vulva would no longer be visible. Before you ask, yes, I am lying. I was looking up her dress. And yes, I saw exactly what I was looking for. I apologize for betraying your trust. And I apologized to her for betraying hers. I'm at the movies with my girlfriend. Standing out in the lobby. Another girl that I knew from years ago in school spots me from the distance and approaches us as she exclaims, double quote, "Oh my god. My name. Is that you?" I respond, double quote, "Yep. Hi, her name. Double quote. Is that your girlfriend?" Double quote. "Yep." Double quote. You're still awkward. She then runs off to her movie and my girlfriend starts cracking up. Apparently she agreed. I was in the pool with my co-workers, lifeguard, and we were having chicken fights. One girl says to another girl, double quote, "Hey, get on Mr. Buzz's shoulders. He's tall." She responds, double quote, "Him." And they played without me. IDKY she laughed. But I was very hurt. I was with a girl once and we were about to get it on in her room when she starts giving me a hand job. It was pretty bad. She had the whole death grip going on, so I told her to stop cause it hurt. To which she replied, "But that's how my brother likes it." Needless to say, I grabbed my clothes and ran out the door. Hooked up with a girl and saw her out again at a bar a week later. We start flirting and go to my car to fool around. Not a minute into it she starts saying, "Adam. I love you. I love you, Adam." This was literally our second time together. And my name's not Adam. I was at Walmart with 3 of my soon-to-be roommates for college. We saw cheap table, ones that are plastic that fold down. And because we are poor college kids, I mentioned that we should get it for our house. Out of nowhere, some girl turns the corner and yelled, "I can be Wild's table." Still not 100% sure what it meant, but it sure sounded like she wanted an orgy. I wear a spinal brace. This happened on Halloween. Double quote. I like that you're wearing that. Double quote. What? Double quote. I like that you're wearing that. Double quote. Do you know what it is? Double quote. No. But I like that you're wearing it. Double quote. Okay. Thanks. Her boyfriend came over to my table after a while and apologized, saying she was drunk and thought it was somehow related to Nintendo. Lol, she thought you were R.O.B. the robot. 7. Having a sonogram of the area between my balls and my thigh. They sent letter F 60 years old lady in there to do the sonogram. It was clear that Doe had retired from somewhere and on back to school so that she could be letter F a cute a sonogram tech and look at it buys all day. She was so mad letter F T she was going to have to sonogram Doe 25 years old dude's balls. As Doe she walked in the room she letter F D a scowl on her face. And when Doe opened my chart to see what was going on, she was immediately upset. Day was trying to rub that petroleum conduction jelly between my balls and thigh without actually touching or moving anything. Day-o. I politely moved my CCK out letter F away like any gentleman would do letter F. And she got all flustered and doe-hearted. Don't touch it. As if I were dare masturbating or somehow getting pleasure out of the experience. I've never been so mad and embarrassed at the same time. For the first time in all my years on Reddit, I finally have the best possible response for an AskReddit thread. During college I was invited to my friend's room to drink with her and her new roommate. After a few shots we started playing this game. FU. With some cards. The roommate kept hitting me with a frick subliminary. So it was obvious what was about to transpire. My friend left her room and we immediately get down to business. After around 5 thrusts she goes, "Stop stop stop." I was worried and replied, "What? I will remember this till the day I die." She replies, "You're a Republican, right? Because I can't have sex with any liberals." I looked her straight in the eye and said, "I freaking love Ronald Reagan." A bit late but anyway. I slept with a girl and after I pulled out, I was fairly pissed so didn't wrap up and explained to her I didn't want to risk getting he pregnant. He said, and I quote, double quote, "Oh don't worry. I was head a few weeks ago so I can't get pregnant anyway." I had no idea what to say. During sex with a one night stand. You look like a serial killer when you make that face. Followed by, "Oh come on. Don't let that turn you off." In an elevator with my friend, we're both college dudes, and on our way to the 4th floor. The elevator opens on the 2nd floor and 3 girls get in. One of them says, "Oh boy. Alone with 3 hot girls with nowhere to go? Bet this is a dream come true for you guys. Classic thirsty freshman girls." I was at a bar, seated, when this semi-cute hipster girl walks up and takes a seat on my lap, puts her arms around my neck, and asks, double quote, "Are you Jewish?" Double quote, "No." Double quote, "Oh. Because I like your nose. I have kind of a big honker." But this wasn't the only time it's drawn attention. A drunken older woman once told me I had such a cute nose that she wanted to suck on it. I was 13 and it was the time of year for a physical. Always embarrassing. But you grit your teeth and bear with it. The doctor was a normal looking doctor, and older man. No big deal. Pants are about to drop and he asks, double quote, "Do you mind if our intern assists?" My position was too compromised for me offer any response beyond a nod of agreement. So I agree. In walks a gorgeous 24-year-old blonde girl who then proceeds to check me for hernias while I desperately try, in vain, to hold back an erection. Then she spoke. Double quote. "Everything seems normal." I was dating a girl for a few weeks. At first she asked if I was comfortable with her in the room while I was peeing. Of course I didn't care. Then she wanted to actually watch me pee and stare at me to see how I reacted. NBD. A few weeks after that she said she wanted to be in the bathroom while I tea. We were only dating for a little over a month at this point. I once dated a girl with kids for about a year. She was crazy as hell but I overlooked a lot because the sex was freaking amazing. When I went to break everything off with her the first thing out of her mouth was, double quote, If I got rid of the kids, do you think we could work things out? Edit. Spelling. Hey handsome. Now that I was fired, I can sexually harass you. A 34-year-old woman, I was 20 at the time, who consistently hit on me and made sexual advances to me until I reported her. She was fired for other reasons. Apparently, I was and still am happily engaged, so there was zero chance of that happening. He came back in the office to visit and said that I disappeared into the locked security area of the building. First date with an extremely attractive tiny blonde girl. Date goes very well. We end up parked in her car at the beachfront having a fairly deep and complex conversation. She proceeds to tell me, out of nowhere, that she likes to be punched in the face. Said on and hung from the ceiling with chains. I have to say I strongly considered it before I noped the frick out. She really was violently pretty. She was trying to be nice and told me I'd make a nice backup if her first few choices don't work out. She couldn't wrap her dumb little head around why that wasn't a compliment. My brother's ex-wife propositioned me to get tipsy and frick. This was while their divorce was pending. I declined. Just as I penetrated this girl during sex. Double quote. Oh my god. I can feel it. I can feel your energy. It's filling the room. My thoughts. Double quote. WTF am I getting myself into? I gotta get out of here. It was one of the most interesting sexual experiences of my life. Not bad. Just really interesting. I had this girlfriend that confessed her feelings for me. And then I asked her why. She replied. Double quote. Maybe. I just have a crappy taste. I heard you have a great DCK but don't know how to use it. From a friend of the girl I just lost my virginity to. Yo, I'm not even sure I was a 2-pump chump. Jokes on her, I'm up to 4 pumps now. My ex-girlfriend. During sex. She would always push me away and tell me stop. Then she would continue to say what the frick, don't stop, you are supposed to grab me. Choke me and keep going. Double quote. I want you to pay me. She says. I respond with. Double quote. But what if at some point you don't want me to pay you and I actually pay you? I am not taking that chance. I ended up getting drunk and choking her and really not letting her push me off as I was close to getting off. Then she got all upset cause she really wanted me to stop. I was like, what the frick? You make sex some confusing game of chess. Frick off, and I left. 2 stories. 1. Met her that night at a bar and right after we start kissing for the first time she pulls out and asks. Double quote. So, are we dating now? 2. Friend told me about this one. He had been dating this girl for some time and they were about to hook up for the first time. During foreplay, she looks at him dead in the eyes and brags. Double quote. I love how no matter how many guys I frick, my PSSY still stays tight. I had a girl break up with me and tell me. Double quote. I can't take you serious anymore. After I thought it was weird, she really thought her cats talk to her. Yes. Cats have feelings. Cats have emotions. No. They do not talk. In the 12th grade I managed to get one of the hotter girls in my grade to come over when my parents were out of town. Naturally I was hoping to get it in. Anyways, we had been hanging out for about an hour when she said she was hungry, so I showed her the contents of my fridge. She got really excited that I had string cheese and then proceeded to sit on the kitchen floor and eat cheese. On the 3rd cheese string I made a joke about something stupid and she laughed and let out the most earth-shaking fart I've ever heard in my life. It rippled with tremendous force on the kitchen floor tiles. I pretended not to hear it. That was awkward. We're married now.